Morning. I am back in my little clay studio, which is now a little bit more than a clay corner. I've managed to create some more space in it now, and I'm really enjoying getting back to making some of my own work again, which is just wonderful. And today I just thought I'd come on live because I'm going back over the pieces that I've made throughout my life, because turning 60 this year has just caused me to, I guess, really look back at all the making that I've done over the years and the drawings that I've made. And I've been going back over my ceramic pieces and kind of just looking at how much there is for a start, and then kind of grouping them together and looking at what I was doing with them, casting my mind back in terms of the memory of the making, what I was trying to do, and then seeing where the threads have continued through other times in my life and which things are recurring, which things I might want to resurrect or reconnect with. And also as a process of honouring all of the pieces that I've made over the years and the people who've helped me with those, helped me to make things at those various times. So today I've got gathered together the very earliest pieces that I made, which I think was when I was around between the ages of 9 and 11. It was towards the end of primary school. Certainly before secondary school, because once I got to secondary school I started playing in an orchestra on a Saturday morning, and these pieces that I'm just about to show you I made at a Saturday morning clay workshop that was run by a local potter called Vivica Hunter in Bristol, and she was a maker herself and sold her pieces over in Westbury-on-Trim, and she opened up her garage studio, not dissimilar to my current garage studio, to me and my siblings and a couple of other people on a Saturday morning. So we used to go there and make things, and it was a really lovely Saturday morning, and I really enjoyed it. I really loved the making and seeing the whole process through, because she would fire them and glaze them for us. And it was a really lovely time, and I actually wrote quite a bit in various news passages in our exercise books at school. I've got those, and I might look those out again and maybe read some of them to you, but certainly it was something that I noted down that I really enjoyed, and things like I was looking forward to the next week when I might finish the piece that I'd started. So yeah, it was a really special connection and introduction to clay in those days. So I'm going to just turn the camera around and show the collection that I've gathered together. These are all the pieces that were saved and looked after and displayed by my mother, and I'm so glad that she kept them all. I mean, a lot of them were gifts to her and Dad. That was one aspect of the clay Saturday morning workshop that we enjoyed, was that opportunity to make gifts. So that's how come I've still got them, and it's really lovely because I can also see the threads that have continued throughout my clay exploring life, as it were. So I'll turn the camera around, and there you can see it. So I'm quite amazed actually when I see them all gathered together at the range, the different kinds of methods that I've been using in the pieces. There's slab work, there's a little throne piece, there are quite a few coiled pieces, and some modelled figurative pieces, and some plain but relief moulded, or not relief moulded, but relief decorated flat pieces at the back there. So yeah, when I put them all together, and I'll just flick it back. When I put them all together this morning and arranged them in this sort of little light filled space, I really kind of thought, wow, what a collection. The range and variety. So yeah, I was really pleased actually to see them gathered together like that, and I'm glad that I took the time and thought to do that, because when they're all dispersed around and about, you don't have that sense of the whole. So yeah, that was a really nice feeling. I'm going to just also flick it back and look at each one, show you a little of those. So we've got, yeah, these coiled pieces. This is a coiled piece here, made around a big slab, and there's a decorative theme that I can see here, this scratching of this sort of wave-like pattern, which recurs across several pieces. We've got that happening across the lidded pot here. You can see it sort of in the background, and it's also making an appearance on this piece. I was also quite interested in stained glass at the time, and in the 70s it was a real thing to put this crushed glass into ceramics, and I think this was I can remember saying to Vivica, oh, I'd really like to create some sort of stained glass, and so she helped me to create this piece. And you can see the glass in this was my very first throne piece, and we've put a little bit of that green glass in the bottom there. And I remember the feeling of throwing on the wheel this little pot, very satisfying feeling. Cold in that studio, but yeah, so we had ice on the top of the bucket that we were using to wash our hands after the wheel, so I remember that. And in this one there's also the big reveal of some glass in the bottom there. So yeah, as I'm sort of looking at the pieces, I was thinking that there's also a little bit of attention to detail here and there, which is something that is a bit of a recurring theme, certainly in my drawings. I just was noticing on here, this is a tankard that I made for my dad, and just adding that little thumb tab, I think is a sort of nice attention to detail. And he was into making beer at one time, so I think that's why the tankard came about. But you know, I'm noticing also the scale of these pieces is quite big, so a bit of technical proficiency there, because they're all stoneware, so it would have been quite a bit bigger and shrank in the firing. And I remember this feeling slightly out of control at one point because the coils were going quite wobbly, but managed to keep it coming round. And also the detail, I think, of just the way that I've pinched the two pieces of clay together to create a handle there. And again on the lid of this one, just wanting to create those different shapes and leaving the pattern in the bottom and this little detail around the edge. And on this little house, I've even made a hole for the smoke to come out. So I think the threads that continued, which you'll see, because I'll be talking about the other phases of when I've worked, like at college, art college, when I've had my own studio, and more recently. And I was just making a note of those things. There's definitely a thread of lidded pots that carries on. Figurative work makes an appearance quite a few times at different points in my practice. Things that support plants. This was made to plant cacti in, and that's a theme that recurs, is making things that have got plants or growing or sit in gardens or something like that. Working with throwing has continued, both making functional things and using throwing to create other sculptural pieces. And what else? 2D pieces, so yeah, there's a definite thread of tiles running through my making practice throughout my life. And also some functional things. There's been a functional phase where I've been making functional pieces for gardens, so that's something which continues. So I thought I'd just share those things this morning, and partly because it helps me to look at them in a bit more detail. I think when I'm talking about them, I'm thinking about them at the same time. So I guess it's a form of journaling, isn't it? And I wonder how others see the pieces that they made, the very first pieces they made, whether they've still got them, and how they inform the rest of the practice through their lives. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. And also it's been a bit of a reminiscence, so I might share some of those in posts as the days go by. So, so that's the first clay exploration collection, as it were. And I guess the next phase is probably the pieces I made at foundation course, so I'll be gathering those together over the coming weeks and exploring what they've got to say, and I will share those conversations with you then. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have lovely afternoons, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.